Ever said or listened to someone say, everything was better before? Well, if you just heard from others, it means you probably are at a young age. Congrats. But here's the thing. There's a reason why so many people affirm things were better back in the day. You know why? First of all, if you're talking about things we purchase and use in our daily lives, then yeah, they have a point. Everyday goods were manufactured to last using more durable materials. And when things broke, it was possible to repair for a cheap price most of the times. Think of clothes, forks and knives, furniture, basically anything we have at home. They used wood, metal, leather, and special resins that simply stand the test of time. Whereas today, so much of what we purchase is made of synthetic materials, then of course things break or cease to function too soon. Now comes the annoying part, which you probably know about. Ever heard about planned obsolescence? Planned obsolescence is basically when manufacturers sell you something that they know will need replacement in a given number of years, or months, or even weeks. Since almost every producer adopts this as a policy in almost any industry, the harsh conclusion is, the world is filled with disposals, no matter how much we paid for it. Planned obsolescence accounts for one of the great causes of discontent in daily life. You as a consumer have all the right to be angry when a relatively new computer starts to fail, or that piece of apparel loses its original tone after a few washes. But have you put yourself in the shoes of those who used to work in the manufacture of good old durable products and were put out of work? And what about those who made their living from repair and post-sale services? The majority of companies change them for cheap labor in other countries, spreading the production process through a series of different places in order to cut costs. Of course, the product becomes a Lego-style assembly of many cheap parts that tend to break or malfunction sooner than expected. Now multiply the consumer experience of such many products for millions and millions of people, all a little bit frustrated about it, and add a good amount of quality jobs lost to the cost-cutting planned obsolescence scheme. What do we get? We get negative moods, exasperation, collective unease, hence the general sense of disrespect and unworthiness that permeates so much of our daily life situations and environments. Does it sound familiar? Unfortunately, today's society is not in its best shape when it comes to emotions. Obviously, there are many other reasons for that, but certainly our everyday deceptions in consumer relations play a role in this. Now comes the logical question. If we are mostly unable to change the system and we need to step out of this everyday negativity, what can we do? Here's our suggestion. Understand that the times have changed and the past will not come back. Ask yourself if the quality of the things we buy should really have the power to determine your moods. And above all, simplify your life. Once you discover how to live with less stuff, you will feel lighter. Don't let consumption drive you into emotional pitfalls of anxiety and frustration. And the way to do it is to realize that while you may want many different things, you only need a few. Fight back. Now is your time to frustrate their plans. They plan the obsolescence of your life. Refuse to cooperate by living a simple life, focusing on what really matters: family, friends, relevant work. This sole decision to change has the power to return much of your emotional health and add years to your life. Then in the future, you will not need to keep repeating how things were better before.